Growing tensions in the Middle East today. Iran warns it will target U.S. troops and Israel if it is attacked by the United States, as Tehran intensifies its crackdown on anti-government protests, now entering their third week. U.S. officials tell the Wall Street Journal that Donald Trump is scheduled to be briefed Tuesday on options to respond to the protests. As the New York Times reports, the president has been briefed in recent days on new options for military strikes and is seriously considering intervening. This, according to multiple U.S. officials familiar with the matter. He has not made a final decision, though. Lawmakers are split on the wisdom of such a move.
The president has made it very clear that if they begin to kill their own people and slaughter them, that the United States will be forced to interfere at that point. And I would back the president in having that strategy of protecting the Iranian people from the right to restore their country to what it used to be in the 1970s.
I don't think it's the job of the American government to be involved with every freedom movement around the world.
There's considerable risk that Trump is going to drag us into a war in Iran, thinking that he can just force his will upon them as well. And then we're in another Middle East quagmire.
And joining me now, John Gambrell, Gulf and Iran news director for the Associated Press, who has been reporting on this from Dubai. John, welcome to you. What is your sense of the situation there in Iran today? We know the death toll has been rising. I'd like to get the numbers as of now and talk about how hard it even is to get information relayed and confirmed, because the regime has shut off internet access and international calls are now blocked in Iran.
Alex, it's a really complicated situation. We typically work with our colleagues in Tehran who assist us in the reporting, but we can't reach them. The phone lines are cut, as you mentioned. The internet is down. So we're having to rely a lot on activists who are operating inside of Iran using Starlink satellite receivers. There is one activist group in particular that's been very successful. That's the Human Rights Activist News Agency, which today has said that at least 536 people have been killed so far in these demonstrations, and they warn that this number is likely to go much, much higher up. And the reason for that is just the amount of violence that we've seen surrounding these protests. There's been gunshots that have been heard in some of these online videos. We've seen videos of bodies as well. But again, it's very, very difficult to understand exactly what's happening there. The Associated Press itself is not able to independently assess any of these casualty figures. And complicating matters is the fact that the Iranian government has released no figures about protesters. In fact, they have turned their language on state media into calling them rioters and have focused primarily on the death of security officials, meaning there's a real gap here in the knowledge, and Iran is trying to really show a strong united front, even though that's belayed by the protests we've seen on the street. Alex?
Okay, so John, I'm curious your thoughts on how seriously we should be taking these warnings from both sides. As reported, leading into you, we know that the president has been briefed on military options that he could consider. We know that he is going to have a meeting on Tuesday to discuss where things stand, what to do. So how high do you sense the risk is of U.S. strikes exacerbating the problems in Iran and the wider region?
Well, I know exactly how the Iranians feel because we saw the Iranian parliament meet today, and the speaker of the parliament, Mohammad Bagher Kalibaf, came out very strongly and said that if there's any U.S. strike on Iran to try to protect or defend peaceful protesters, he said that Iran would be willing to strike at Israel or any of the U.S. military bases or personnel that are throughout the Middle East. There's a lot of bases here. You have them in Qatar, the air base there that Iran struck back in June. And then you also have the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain as well. So there's a lot of targets there, and the Iranians, through Kalibaf today, even suggested that they could do a preemptive strike. That being said, the Iranians are in a tight spot right now. Their air defenses were destroyed during that war in June launched by Israel that lasted for 12 days and saw the United States strike Iranian nuclear sites as well. But on the American side, there's risks. Do they want to take the chance of potentially restarting a regional war that Trump was very proud to have said that he got the ceasefire on? Now, Our own AP staff at the White House have confirmed through 2 officials that there's discussions right now about potentially cyber options all the way up to military strikes. But again, it's just unclear what President Trump is ultimately going to decide.